What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video, I'm going to be reviewing the next Fast and Furious movie in the franchise, Fast 5, the 5th edition of the Fast and Furious franchise. It's got a huge ensemble cast. Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, the two main characters, are back. Jordana Brewster back from 4. Tyrese Gibson back from number 2. His first Fast and Furious since 2. Also Chris Ludacris Bridges. Or Luda. He's in the movie as well. Matt Schultz as Vince or Vincent back from the first movie. Sung Kang as Han back from the 4th movie. Gal Gadot again. And there's a villain in here, I know that. There's not as important as the other guy, but Tego Calderon and Don Omar are two of the teammates of the Fast and Furious team. They're supporting characters, though not really much of supporting characters. The guy who plays the villain in this film is Joaquin de Almeida as a guy named Reyes. And those are pretty much the main players in the movie. And then, actually, you know what? I saved him the best for last. The guy who is, the guy who is the newcomer in the film. He hadn't been in any other Fast and Furious movies. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He comes into this movie, and I'll talk more about it after. But anyway, the film in particular it kind of sets up the Fast 4. 4 sets up the events that come up to 5, because at the end of 4, Dominic Toretto is being sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. He gets transported to the prison where he's going to be transferred, and Brian O'Connor resigns from the FBI. Him, Mia Toretto, and a couple other people, they break Dom Toretto out of custody. They break him out. He escapes. And they're on the run in this movie. They're in Rio de Janeiro, cornered, basically. And Agent Hobbs is assigned to bring them into custody. And he is played by The Rock. It's not... So basically, Hobbs is after the team, totally. He really is. But he's not the only one after these guys. Joaquin de Almeida, who plays a guy named Reyes, a drug overlord named Reyes, is also after them as well. The big thing is that the team, Brian O'Connor, and it's Brian O'Connor, Dominic Toretto, and Mia Toretto that are fugitives. And what they try to do is they try to steal $100 million, a lot of money from the guy from Reyes, the drug owner. They try to steal it from him, and so they can't do it alone, so they get a team together. They get Gal Gadot's character back, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, Sung Kang, all those guys. They get them teamed up together to basically go in and steal the money. At first, before they get the team together, Matt Schultz, who plays Vince, contacts the group, Dom, Mia, and Brian O'Connor, and he has an assignment for them. He has a mission for them to retrieve 3 different cars. What they don't know is that these cars are DEA cars. You know, they're DEA seized cars, the Drug Enforcement Agency, Administration Agency, something like that. So, 3 DEA agents assigned to each car get killed. And the blame for their deaths gets put on Brian O'Connor and his team. So, Agent Hobbs is hot on their trail because of their deaths, and he wants to bring them in for 3 innocent people dying. So, and then the team gets into a situation with Reyes, a big drug owner in Rio de Janeiro. You know, his team, he has part of, the guy has part of his teammates. I think his associates get blamed for the big death and all that, the death of the DEA agents. So I think the connection kind of lies in that. And pretty soon the team wants to steal all of Reyes' money. So they come up with a plan to do that. They have to evade Agent Hobbs and his men, trying to get after them. So it's a kind of two-way thing for these guys. They want to defeat Reyes and his men. They want to get the money, but they also have to look over their shoulders to see Agent Hobbs after them to prevent him from capturing them. So that is basically the gist of the plot and all that sort of thing. I will say this. The Rock was definitely the breath of fresh air this franchise needed. 4 was okay. I mean, it wasn't anything really special, but it was okay. It was watchable, definitely. There were moments in it that I liked, for sure. But The Rock just elevates the movie. I mean, to get a guy who, when you put in front of the camera, you put this guy in front of a camera, he's a star. I mean, is he the best actor in the world? No. But he knows how to do it. He's a good actor. He's a good action hero star. He's charismatic. He's very suave, charismatic, things like that. And he is the shot in the arm that this franchise needed to really put it over the top. And the way he plays off with the other characters is very good. The team, Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, Tyrese Gibson, all those guys are back. My favorite of the supporting characters, another favorite is Roman Pierce, played by Tyrese Gibson. I think he got brought in for comedic effect. He actually works well in this film with Ludacris. I had expressed my disdain for Gal Gadot's acting, but I think what happens in this film is that I can forgive it, because I'm not going to take away from it, because most of the scenes that she's in, she's with somebody else. So she can kind of play off other people. And it makes her acting tolerable. You know, if she's working off of somebody else. That's what the majority of the whole thing is with her, you know, is that she's working off other people acting. And it's tolerable, for sure. Tego Calderon and Don Omar, 2 guys that mostly speak Spanish the entire film. They're funny because they whine and bitch at each other, which is kind of funny. That's their shtick. There's also another little subplot in this film. I'm not going to give it away, but there is another subplot to look forward to between Mia Toretto and Brian O'Connor. I will have to explain it in number 6, but I'm not going to explain it in this one. But in this review of Fast 5. So saying that, This movie is a great combination of humor, great wit, good comedy, and action. And it's not just about racing anymore. It's not just about the racing of cars. It's also about a great it's also a great heist movie, much like Ocean's 11, the Ocean's trilogy. You know, this movie really serves a purpose as that. And it's really engaging to see this franchise take a stab at something new and succeed at it, I think. You know, I think they succeed with the whole heist thing. And the chemistry between everybody is great. I mean, it really is good. There's a lot of funny one-liners in there. It's a good film. The Rock, you know, getting added to this film is huge. On Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 78% on a 78%, which is it's good. It's a good review. For me, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was a great movie. Really, it's rewatchable. You know, it really is very good, very well done. The Rock, great in the role. The chemistry, great. You know, the story, great. The villain, actually, Reyes, the villain, actually a little bit better than the villain in 4. So, all in all, it's a very enjoyable movie. And that is it for this video. D-Rock 1992 out.